Hi you guys, this is Sally with Amelia Salon. I am coming to you today talking to you about traction alopecia, which is alopecia is going to be a form of hair loss. But the traction is going to be from the pulling of the hair. A lot of women have been coming into the salon lately and they've been talking about their edges and how do they get their edges to grow back. My first question to them is what have you been doing to your edges? What have you been doing for the past at least 2 to 3 months? Well, they would say, well, I had braids, I had a sew-in, I had a protective style, or I've just been wearing it up lately in a bun or with a band on it. So my next question was, okay, so how long did you wear this? And they'll tell me, oh, I had to sew in for 3 months. I had to sew in for 8 weeks. They just give different, months or days. So now, the first thing is, if your hair is coming out, it has came out around the edges from the pulling of the style, of the braids. Even that it is a protective style, you still got to think about that protective style is not so protective if it is pulling tightly. You do not want a style or braids pulling so tightly to where it is having an indentation in your skin, or your eyes are going back, or your eyebrows are going back towards the middle of your head. Don't want that. So those styles are literally too tight and they are causing breakage around the edges. It's causing the follicles to produce hair prematurely. And what I mean by that is your hair strands, they go through stages. The anagen, the catagen, and the telogen. Those are the phases. So your anagen is going to be your growth phase. Your catagen is going to be your resting. And your telogen is going to be your shedding phase. So when you braid the hair so tightly, at any given moment, you don't know which phase the strands are in. So you're pulling and pulling and pulling. And some could be in the telogen phase, some could be in the anagen phase. So if it's in the telogen phase, so it's going to automatically shed off. But if it's in the anagen phase, it does not need to come out because it's in the growth phase. So when you see that little bulb come up around this little area here, that little white bulb, that's not the follicle. That is a cast. That is the melanin has stopped production in that particular strand. And when it stopped that production in that strand, it's ready to come out. So when you pull, it's coming out. So you're pulling and pulling and pulling, like I said, and it's just, you're pulling it out prematurely. And you're taking the strands through the growth phase too fast. So what I have here is a diagram, or not really a diagram, it's a model. It's a model of the skin. And here are your hair strands. Your hair strand is this right here is going to be the follicle where the hair is. Your sebaceous glands. This is the rectipili muscle, and these are sweat glands. So what happens is in this diagram here, or this model, when you get the hair, and this right here is the top layer of the skin. So when you're pulling that braid, you're pulling and pulling and pulling, and it's coming out from down here. As you're pulling it, it's pulling so tight, you just don't know. And this layer of skin is so thin. It's really, really thin. So as I was saying, as you're pulling out prematurely. And this hair around the edges is really vellus hair. And it's not as strong as the terminal hair is, the rest of the hair on your head. So you're pulling so much, so it just pops off. It pops off, or it comes out by that little bulb that is already due to come out. You're going to see that little bulb. So if you're going to wear your braids, your sew-ins, or any type of protective styles, let them be protective styles. They do not have to be tightly pulled. They can be very loosely done and still be protected. And when you shampooing these styles, make sure that the hair completely dries, because if not, you can set up yeast in your scalp, or mildew in your scalp, because the hair is not completely dry and it's just sitting there. So back to the traction. Make sure that your hair is loose. If the person who's doing your hair is doing it too tight, let them know. Let them know that you're pulling too tight, and I feel that it's too tight. It's giving me a headache or whatever. Let them know, because they sometimes do not know the tension that they have and that they're doing on your hair. So, once again, this is Sally, and this is your tutorial for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.